Hi, in this video I'd like to show you the new screen preferences options that we just updated. And as you can see, this is the default view as you see the members area in Val URL when you are first logging in. And now for the video recording, I have made it relatively small, and you see it's a little bit jam-packed in here with the video button overlaying some things here. And so when you hover over here, then the detailed account stats and info section shows up, like right here, and if I go out it disappears automatically again, and the chat being open right away here on the side, and so on and so on, by the way, which you can close simply by clicking on X, or move to the other side if you prefer by clicking on this icon here. But let's say you want to change the settings a bit around to make it a bit easier to see. One of the things, for example, you can do, and I know this is covered here partially, this triangle, but if you say, for example, okay, you don't need to have the getting started steps this big maximized here, you can simply click anywhere here on the yellow triangle is a bit covered, or the text area here, to minimize the getting started area. And then you see now that the stats and info area became a lot bigger here, but then the getting started area disappeared small to the bottom. Now let me show you what else you can change around in the way that the dashboard view looks like. So first, to change anything, you click up here in the upper corner here on the avatar picture of yourself. And by the way, if that's not showing your picture, that means that your email address that you're registered with in Vile URL is simply not yet, you don't have a Gravatar account for that one, and I can show you where you find out more about that one. So let's click on this first here. The Gravatar, by the way, it's described here. So if you see default avatar up there, you can simply click here on gravatar.com and then set up a Gravatar picture for your registered email address in Val URL, which is in my case this one here. So, but now let's move on to the site preferences. You can find this now in the section if you click up here on site preferences. And there are several things that you can adjust to the way you like it. Like, for example, if you have a smaller screen and you need to have more space, you can, for example, switch the chat to the automatic open close option. And the difference in the default one, where it's on open and manual close, is that if you log in, it's by default open like this, and when you click on the X here, you can close it manually. Now if you change it to automatic open close, what happens is that it opens only minimized, like 40 pixels wide here on the side, and if you go with the mouse over the area, it automatically opens up to this full view, and if you leave the area again, it will again become smaller to like about a 40 pixel wide area. So that's ideal if you are running on a smaller screen, or you just want to have more space for the dashboard itself and less space for the chat. Or if you choose to, for example, that you don't really use the chat at all, you can also click on keep closed. In that case, it simply will remain closed. Just remember, if you change it to keep closed, to get it back, you need to switch it back to automatic open close or open manual close, one of those selections here. Now the next option that you have is the tell others option, and basically that's about this hover over that shows once every 30 days, which gives you the option to share your Vile URL affiliate link with your Facebook friends or on Twitter, etc. And that shows once every 30 days. When you close it off, 30 days later it comes back. So now if you used it already and don't want to see it again, or for whatever reason you don't want to use that option, you can always go in here and change it from enabled to disabled. By default, again, this is enabled. And then the next section here is about the detailed account stats, and you see there's a little bit still in the background here, the overview, mailing, credits, etc. This section here, or as it was before in the maximize getting started view, you had this little button at the bottom that you hovered over to open it up. You can change it from that button when it's in that other view, from doing clicking or hovering to open to just clicking to open. So some people said they didn't want it automatically open just to go with the mouse over that area, and yeah, that's now possible by simply changing it to click to open. And the third option that's brand new in here is to keep it closed. So if you don't really need the stats in here, and the button and all the functions on here are basically also in the menus here on top. So if you don't want to use this advanced dashboard or this information dashboard area here, you can simply keep it closed completely. And if you keep it closed, the next option will not make a difference for you anymore either. But let's say you have it on, let's say, click to open, for example. Now the next option is about how it closes again. As you saw before, when I left with the mouse the particular area, it automatically closed after a few seconds. Now, if you don't want that, if you want to hover over this button that you saw before, the yellow button, if you want to keep it open, you can switch it now to keep open. And that's for those people that didn't like all this animation on the screen. For them, for example, it's ideal to have the chat just open, then here click to open and don't close, and that way it's not animated anymore, it just stays open for them and there's no switching back and forth between views for them. Just take a quick look here, I save it here, and you see now the site preference has been saved. And by the way, to see the changes, it's helpful when you click on the reload or refresh browser button that you hold your shift key down, that way it clears the cache and you make sure that you see the new view now. So now you see, let's take a look quickly here. I can quickly maximize the getting started area, so you see that button that I was referring to before. See, now if I hover over it, it doesn't open anymore. And now if I click on it, it stays open the whole time. And also the chat doesn't open and close. So it's all like static and not moving around. And like I said, if you have a little space, you might want to close the chat. Let me just show you quickly how that looks like. Simply go in here again, click on Site Preferences, choose and keep close of the chat. Then click here on Save Site Preferences. Again, when I reload this here, now I hold the Shift button just to make sure that the cache gets, cleared out. That way it's reloading the whole screen. And as you see now, the chat is closed completely. I have a lot more space now to work on in here. So if you don't use the chat, you can simply close it that way. And if you want it back, all you need to do is again, click up here on your avatar icon, click on the Site Preferences, and simply switch it to either automatic open close or open manual close. And let me do that also, so you can, and let me now for this case, close the detailed accounts, stats and info area here completely. So you have, you can see how that looks like. And again, I refresh my browser. So I see the change view, and as you can see now, the chat is opened minimalized here on the side. If I hover over with the mouse, it opens up. And if I leave it after a few seconds, it closes again automatically. So that way you it gets out of your way. And if you want to completely close it, you can always still click on the X here, and that keeps it closed until you refresh your browser. Okay. Now, as you see also now, the detailed area here is gone. And if I switch now to the minimized getting started area, you will notice that now you really have a screen that's pretty cleaned up. As you can see, there's just now the menu on top. Then you have here the getting started area minimized. So it doesn't use as much space, and it goes right to the member ads and the footer down here. So that way it uses the least amount of space on your screen. And the only way to make it even smaller now would be to completely turn off the chat here on the side. But now you have all the options to choose how you want it to look like and adjust it. And that way, it's up to you to adjust the look and the feel in any way that, feel it's the most or the best to work with for you. Okay, thanks a lot for watching this video and have an awesome day.